All right, well, next up, so assistants are kind of a big deal these days. We have like Alexa and the Google Assistant, and I almost don't count Siri at this point, but Siri's around. And so this next, no, she's just on the phone. It doesn't
That's
count.
true. That's true.
So they've been getting more popular, and so also the machine learning tooling to make one has gotten a lot more accessible. And so this next team is building in that space. So they've built a planning app that has a assistant within it to help you plan your next trip. So here is tripHub.
Hi, I'm Annalise Sorsen, and these are my teammates, April Rube, Ella Patassi, and Karen McCarthy. And together we created tripHub, a web app that facilitates collaborative trip planning. We often use multiple disparate tools when planning a trip. We text each other that infamous sushi restaurant in LA, share a Google Doc with See Hollywood Stars, email the dates and times we're arriving and leaving LAX. But all that information gets lost on some cloud. Then we're stuck manically searching for that email for that one crucial piece of information. tripHub solves this problem by putting all that information in one central place. When a user logs in, they can create a new trip or see existing trips. Each trip's workspace has a chat, a pinboard, and an itinerary. Planning is helped along with the chatbot that is integrated with the Google Places API. We built our web app with React.js on the front end and Firestore on the back end. Firestore was a new tool for us, so April will now share more about how we decided to structure this real-time database.
Thanks, Annalise. Because many ideas on the pinboard will eventually end up on the itinerary, we spent a fair amount of time planning the structure of these events in our Firestore database. We decided to give each event an itinerary status field that is a Boolean. When an event is moved from the pinboard to the itinerary, this field is simply flipped from false to true. This allows us to save substantial space in our database. When brainstorming our pinboard, we talked about some of our favorite features on different social platforms. We agree that one of the best features on these platforms is the like button. We chose to include a heart on every event, which users can click to show if they're interested in something. Other users can then quickly scan the board to see what's popular and what's not. The pinboard isn't mandatory though. If a group wants to add an event directly to the itinerary, they can do so by using a simple form. It's also easy to create a new trip within the app. To get some ideas onto the pinboard, users can add them from the chat, which I'll let Ella explain.
Thanks, April. As my teammates mentioned, one of the main components of our app is the real-time chat. This feature uses Firestore and allows users to discuss ideas in one place. The chat has a bot which uses the Google Places API. Once the user makes a trip, they have to set the location, so they do this by sending a message to the bot. The bot saves its location and then uses it for the rest of the searches within this trip. Once the location is set, the user can also make more specific requests, such as search for restaurants or nightclubs. The bot responds with the list of suggestions, and from here, the user has two ways to add the suggestions to the pinboard. Either they can click the pin button on the suggestion or tell the bot to pin the event. From here, the users can tell the bot to add the event from the pinboard to the itinerary, or alternatively, if the group members decide that they immediately want to add something to the itinerary, the bot can do this as well. It takes as input the date and the time of the event and adds it to the trip accordingly. Also, our bot is not a heartless robot, so if a user shows the bot some love, the bot will reciprocate that love. And then lastly, obviously a chat is more fun if there's a lot of people involved, so Karen will now explain how to invite people to your trip.
Thanks, Ella. Implementing invites gave us a great opportunity to expand our technical skills with Firebase functions and new libraries such as NodeMailer. We wrote two Firebase functions to handle invites. The first is a database trigger that creates an invite in the database when the user fills out the form and then sends the invite email. The second is an HTTPS function that's triggered when the recipient navigates their invite link. We structured this process so invites are one-time use and secure only for the intended recipient. Looking forward, we plan to incorporate Google Calendar so users can export their itinerary as a group calendar. We'd also like to enable users to add payment tracking to each event, which the app will then use to calculate total cost and divvy it up accordingly. And lastly, our beta testers were huge fans of our bot's original hidden feature of responding to I love you, so we plan to implement more secret responses and jokes. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you plan your next trip on triphub.tech.
All right, that's if you want to plan a trip with your friends and a lovely bot, the bot responds to "I love you."
Wow.
So yeah, vote. You can vote for the team by liking the post here. I really like the idea
You're
of bots.
muted, I think, or somebody's muted.
Am I muted?
I was muted.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, cool.
I really like the idea of bots that are like assistive bots that are helping you out as you're working with friends. It's a little bit like our kind of robotic dystopia future, but
it's slightly
cool.
Orwellian for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what should we do tonight? I have 5 suggestions.
And I love you.
Did we ask you? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Well done. And I don't know, Nim and I actually worked at Yahoo back in the day on Trip Planner, so we thought about that space deeply, and it's interesting to see people's takes on it.
It's kind of something where you do want a travel agent sometimes, but then you almost never actually want to talk to a person on the phone.
Yeah.
So we'll get the best of both worlds by having a robot that you can talk to not on the phone.